That how you can provide a service or product and to not get paid.
Rethink your business model. Sales rep going, filing bankruptcy. Go leave me bad Google review. Go smash that dislike button. I don't care.
If I would have known about sales in college, I would have never even gone to college.
Did you train Josh Waxman? First year you made over $100,000 in sales.
So how I got in the industry, we know probably some similar people. Cam Harris down in Naples, Florida. Justin Cassequin, Tiffany Cassequin, who I was working with Abel.
How long ago was that?
3 years ago. This is my third year in the industry.
Really?
So July, Cam called me and said, hey, you got to get over here. You'd be great for this. We're making 10 grand a week and all this. And I'm like, no way, dude. Nobody makes that. You got to be kidding. My think was so small back then, because I was a union sheet metal apprentice. I was going to school to bend air, so to speak,
Wow.
So he kept calling me for 8 months, bothering me, and I had this day of disgust. Like, one day I got home and I had made good money, like 20-something bucks an hour. You make good money, you're scaling up. And I couldn't afford my rent, and my rent was like $600. And it was just because I would just go out, blow money, because I just wasn't happy. I wasn't passionate what I was doing, and I was self-sabotaging myself and my finances on the back end. And when I couldn't afford my rent and I knew that I made enough money and I was just making bad decisions, I'm like, dude, something's got to change because I see where this ends. And then I was working with these guys and they're all hunched over and they got arthritis, and I was totally feeling the physicalities on my body. And I'm like, I have to find something different. So he said, hey, come out here to the East Coast. I jumped in my car, gave away everything, gave away my cat to my uncle, and I headed to Chattanooga, Tennessee all in one night. I would have kept going, but it's 17 hours straight driving, and I got to the East Coast, and that's where the storm had hit.
Did you sell $1 million in the first year?
Yeah, between two companies.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you always go between the companies. Even right now, I noticed that you travel states and you just have your network, who you work for, when events happen?
So I'll address that right now because that's probably one of the main questions that not only people in our industry, but outside our industry probably look at that and see like what's going on with this guy. Is this guy bad news or what's the deal? Now, originally I started with Able Restoration as a door knocker with your friend Josh Waxman. I dragged him out in this industry. I introduced him to this industry.
You
sorry.
are bad man.
Yeah, so.
Why would you do that? Did you train Joshua Waxman?
Did I train him?
Or did he train you?
I think we both kind of fed off each other. Here's the thing. I showed him the business about what we do and the process. I learned from him, like I said, how to be an aggressive door knocker. Because people could say whatever they want about the guy, but the guy, he was a master recruiter, and he was great at getting inks. I remember the first time he crashed the comp plan. They're saying, "No, dude, you got to graduate to salesman." He was just. So I guess I learned canvassing and how to be aggressive on the doors better because I was always aggressive because I always went to the numbers. But he just showed me how to take a no. So we was kind of symbiotic. But I trained him because he wouldn't have known anything if I didn't train him. Took care of him, paid for his stuff. I vouched for him, and then he screwed people, so it made me look bad. And this industry's interesting.
I just want to say for the record, I love Waxman. If he would come in the office, Joshua, if you're watching it now, you're welcome to the studio for hard questions, for real questions. But my thing is, there's no hate. That's what people don't get. Why are you picking on me? There's no hate. I just want to give someone an opportunity to make it right because there's a lot of people who are pissed. When you take hard-earned money from hard-working man, it's tough. When I talk to guys, whether it's Home Advisor, Waxman, whatever, when you go and charge someone $2,000, $3,000 and you don't produce anything, now you're no different than boss who don't pay his employees. People work for you. People work for those monies, right? And I just want to give him opportunity to make it right. But let's talk about numbers. If you're right, It's not a debate. It's not heated conversation. I just want
No.
I just want to get down to it. Roofing Insights, we don't hate on people. We just give everybody a platform to stand their ground. And there's a lot of marketers, especially recently. I think we're helping the industry to clean itself, because I have a lot of roofers telling me that their marketers are afraid of me. Like they're like, that Dmitry, he scares me, right? Which is good. They should be scared of taking someone's money and not delivering results. You know, like if you're scared of exposure, rethink your business model. Because if you have nothing to hide, I mean, I have a business too. People pay me too. You know, go leave me bad Google review. Go smash that dislike button. I don't care. You know, people, you can hate me.
Yeah.
I have to rethink what I do.
Well, and plus, if everyone's talking about the same story about you, there's got to be some
There's
truth
pattern.
to it. A pattern emerges. Yeah, something happens, occurs long enough, a pattern emerges, and that pattern is just, okay, if it's not that, why don't you sit down and we'll chop it up and see who's
And how are we going to help that person? So I see a lot of marketers. We have one, Shane Lee from Colorado 3 years ago. Same story. So he took like 70, 80 grand, ended up filing bankruptcy within 3 months. We did the same thing. So people are saying, Dmitry, he's not delivering, he's bad news. Call him up. He's like, I'm not a scammer. I gave him $2,000. Guess what? He ran away with my money. So Shane Lee was one of the first people. And I told him the same thing I told Josh Waxman, man, get a job with someone. Go work, if you're good at sales, go work for a company. You should not be managing people's money. Managing people's money requires discipline. Self-discipline. You cannot be spender. You cannot be gambler. You know, it's not a joke to take money from 150 people, just run away, go on a few fancy trips, rent a freaking Ferrari. I mean, who does that?
Well, and that these are the stories that emerge from this industry, right? Look, two people, same time, started. I started with Josh.
Yep. You go, exactly.
And this right here is such a minute percentage that.
Well, the thing is, how are you going to help him? Like, if we all close our eyes and don't say anything, because there's also a narrative like, oh, don't hate, don't comment, don't do. Well, you're not going to help that person. Sooner or later, he will end up in the jail or on the streets.
Yeah, you're helping him by
Exactly.
exposing him, yeah.
If you're not, and we have to help. We have to fix it, but you can't fix it if it's easy to scam. Did you make 100K in the first year in business?
Yes.
Awesome. Did you go to college?
Yes. Dropped out after 3 years. Yeah.
Would you recommend someone to go to college?
I would recommend, I used to be like, oh, you know, college this is not. Here's what I'm saying. I say college is great for the opportunity to open doors. And unless you're in a specialized field like brain surgery or whatever, I think those, you know, we need those kind of people. But I think that college is kind of like, it's not for everyone. I think if I would have known about sales in college, I would have never even gone to college.
Where did you learn how to sell? And how long did it take you how to sell? Are you like born salesman?
No. So, like they say, don't compare your first chapter to someone's 22nd chapter, right? This person you're seeing, this product you're seeing right in front of you, has been developed since 2010.
Sure.
I was in MLM. I was never making any money, but what I did learn was personal development and how to grow, that my income couldn't grow if I couldn't. And it was very evident that people who made a lot of income or who were personally developed were attractive. And someone once said to me, become the person you want to attract. And I just bought into it, hook, line, and sinker. So I've read a lot of books. I'm a big 10X fan, as you know. Grant Cardone changed my life because I care about people, and I think that goes without saying. I don't think we need to always say, hey, I like to help people. And I think that goes without saying.
It becomes almost negative. It became a cliche. Everybody who's trying to make money, oh, I'm trying to, I hear you. I'm trying to help money. I think you're right.
I think, yeah, so I just kind of, I think that goes without saying, but I think if I commit to income, a lot of other problems get solved. And that's been my experience. And he was the only one to get me to take action. I would always write the quotes, say the lines, believe the affirmations, but nothing happens until you take action, massive action. And that guy's philosophy really changed my life. So that's why you always see me commit to income and get the bag, because that's served me well.
Awesome. When you say about Grant Cardone, did it help you develop Is it just a philosophy, or he helped you develop actually process?
Actually processes, but I think when you go, I noticed Becca Switzer was on, love her. She was one of my first mentors in this industry. Like when I first got started, I just watched her videos because they basically say, go out there and knock doors. It's, law of averages. And one of my mentors always said, hey, what you lack in skill, you can make up in numbers. My first month in this industry, I knocked 850 doors, documented on Spadio. I've never had to knock that many doors again because I learned body language, depth and voice inflection, overcoming objections was the hardest. After I learned that, it was game over. So I went through my numbers, learned all this in a short span of time, compressed time frames, and was able to have the success you're seeing.
Where did you learn overcoming objections?
Grant Cardone. Yeah, Cardone University, mostly. And then when I got in the industry, just met people who knew more. I always wanted to be around top producers because they have the formula and I could leverage their information so I don't have to go through that many failures.
What's your sales up to this day, this year?
Well, I'd say I just got into town and ripped 30 deals. That's about $750,000 right now. But I have additional 400 in Wisconsin, so I'm over $1 million.
Wow.
I'm hoping to get $2 million this year.
Awesome. You worked for a lot of companies.
Yeah.
Why don't you open your own shop or your own business? Would you rather stay independent sales rep, or do you have a dream maybe one day to be a business owner and settled? Is it a goal, or you're happy with the lifestyle that you have?
I'm happy with my lifestyle right now. I see owners, and you know what? They really go and just give it. They're always working. They always have to be available, and a lot hangs on their shoulders. And sometimes they don't get paid. We get paid before you guys, so that doesn't seem attractive to me. But I guess there'll come a point where I should be running my own, my own. I just don't see myself as a roofing company owner. Maybe I hope to brand myself and get into something else and help other people or teach.
You can find, if you find your niche in sales, you can become sales manager. You can have a service that provides trained sales manager. There's so many things you can do. I don't believe that everybody needs to be business owners. I just wanted to ask, because a lot of salespeople, they think that owners, and there's a reason for it. A lot of owners screw sales guys, don't pay commissions, and now we're bad guys, or those guys make bad name for all of roofing companies. And sales guys think the business owners make most money. I mean, we take the biggest risks. You never see sales rep going, filing bankruptcy because he was in debt $500,000. I mean, it happens if you're like horrible spender, but with the business owners, happens all the time.
Yeah, I think people, like I said, there's some people that should go to college, and there's some people that should be business owners, and I don't think I possess those traits to do that. But also, someone said that if I could just focus on sales, I could, have someone else do that. But it's just not. I don't see that in my future.
How many times you didn't get paid or were shorting on commissions?
So my first year was the most devastating. I got initiated in this industry. I don't know. It's weird to me that how you can provide a service or product and to not get paid, coming from a 9 to 5. Like, we always got paid, at least. The job sucked, but we got paid. What was that saying? They pay me just enough to stick around, and I do enough work not to get fired. That was the motto back then, right? But it was like, I couldn't believe that I would do this much volume and not get paid. Like, I work for this one company, and I think you know who it is, and I just got paid on the front end. And I did major 90-day run, $500,000 in 90 days. Got paid on the front, got screwed on the back. So probably after that one, I kind of had like a little bit of brand recognition, so nobody did it again, I think that...
Once you become known and you have a voice.
And once they know you can put up some serious numbers, everybody kind of like, all right, I'll pay you.
In Russia, communist Russia, we had a saying, you guys pretend like you're working, and we'll pretend like we're paying you.
Oh, man.
I see a lot of guys, getting screwed. Like, we have a company right now in Minneapolis. I have 8 sales reps willing to come to my studio, guys. Deal's still on. If you want to do it, just get together. 8 sales guys did not get paid by one company. So you're talking about pattern. And I know a lot of companies who do that. Like you hire a sales guy, you go through them. What's your advice to the sales guy who may be getting screwed right now? I'm pretty sure a lot of guys watching who have been short on commissions are not getting paid, or like you described, getting paid just enough to get by. One of the sales guys who works for me for a couple of years now, when he came to me, he was owed 80 grand. And he eventually got paid, but he was waiting like 9 more months, and he already was 9 months behind. I mean, 80 grand. You know, it's a lot of money. How do you not pay 80 grand?
That's about what I lost probably. You know,
some people don't get it paid like per year. You know, so what?
Some
what
people end up dead. Yeah, I mean, you know, I'm from
what-
Chicago. They handle that different. You know?
What's your advice?
How
How do you deal with a boss or company? Give advice to sales guys who being shorted now or cannot collect their commissions.
Well, first of all, there's certain signs that you'll notice in a company when they're not going to pay you. What I would do is just be good. Always serve the client, the homeowner. That's how everything should be done. Starts with them, serving them. Maybe just document your files. Have everything documented, have everything written down. The more documentation you have, the better it is to walk into an attorney's office and hand off.
Do you always have a contract with the companies you work for?
Yes.
I see a lot of guys out there, they don't. They just come in, it's verbal, it's a text message. I tell guys all the time, sign a contract.
The contract's there for both parties, not just the owner, I mean, because it says like on there, like if you do, this is what you're expected to do, and if you perform this, this is what it'll yield. But it's right on there, and if you can prove that you documented and you've been paid and you've been selling, then it's case closed. And some of these guys like you're talking about that I know have sued that guy, they have won, like no problem. So document everything.
I didn't even tell him who it is, and he knows. It's a small world. Give one advice to homeowner.
Homeowner?
Yeah. Homeowner have a hail damage, probably gonna have a lot of door knockers, does need new roof. What advice would you give to the homeowner?
My biggest advice to homeowners is that, here's the thing, you want to make sure the company has been in business for quite some time, and you want to check the referrals for production. Because the production issue, anybody could sign deals. I sign them all the time. But to be with a company who can handle all that volume and production in a timely fashion to serve you right is a big deal. So my biggest advice to the homeowner is just like, see what they've built. Talk to some of their past clients before, because you have a buffet of contractors at your door, but just be very diligent and do your research on them.
That's all.
I tell homeowners all the time who got screwed, by fly-by-nighters, or someone took their money, ran away, they can't reach them. And if you Google their company name and what comes up with the Google search, you're like, you didn't see it? You didn't, like, just simple Google search.
Yeah.
Owner or company. Or if you Google company and who owns it, big red flag if owner who says he's owner, he's actually not an owner, if he's his wife, uncle.
Yeah, put it under their name.
That's right there is like,
Red flag.
why you're not owning company?
Yeah.
But little things like that, just Google the owner, Google the company, you will see negative, positive, everything. And if you see 2 pages of Google research, of Google results, the positive, you have a good company.
Well, I think with the advent of the internet, it's really getting hard for anybody to screw around anybody. There's so much available data out there that I think it's kind of it's good for police in this industry.
There's only so many people you can block.
Yeah, that's true.
Some people have more people on the block list than on the friend list. If you're the homeowner and you're looking for a trustworthy contractor, check our Roofing Insights directory. We back up every single contractor on our list by $20,000 guarantee. If that contractor will mess up your job, I personally will back it up and I will make it right with you. roofinginsights.com/directory, description below.